more time. We back again. We have another video. If you are riding in your car, be careful. And if you are at home, we want you to relax. This video we're bringing to you today, this one is called Having a Good Idea with an Irrational Outcome. We can have a good idea with an irrational outcome. When we start off in our relationships, a lot of times we can come to the table with the best, clearest mindset. She, fellas, could be beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's so fine. She has all the physical characteristics, everything in the right place. She smells good. She sounds good. Everything that you dreamed about, she's sitting before you. Your dreams. Ladies, he is so handsome. He got the swag. He has all the physical characteristics that you're looking for. He's confident. He is driven. He's financially secure. Now, everything that you dreamed of since you was a little girl is now sitting before you. Those are good ideas. We go into our relationships and we think that we have planned the best that we can from our vantage point, from what we know and what we see, from what we have experienced, from what we were told. Those are good ideas. So now we have to take the good idea from the surface, which is what attracts us to that person or that person to us. So we want to go deeper than that and get to the core, and we want to leave the superficial and get to more core characteristics so we can have tools and resources that can help sustain and build a healthy, viable relationship for a long period of time. Often when we get into our relationships, we meet that individual, they all start off good. Those are all good ideas. Everything is in place. The timing could be right. He or she could be looking good. She's coming out of school, you're coming out of school, or she just got her good position and promotion, you just got yours. She just purchased her house, you just purchased yours, whatever the situation may be. When we start off with those good ideas, we forget that we got to leave that surface, and then we got to go deeper and start getting into the core. When we start getting into what's unrealistic is if you can look at all the relationships that you've had up to this point, they probably all most of them started out really good. But then there were different things that came into play when you left that surface and you start getting to that core to go deeper, and you found that it was more things that you needed to know. There were some things that you didn't know that you probably wish you had prepared for in the beginning. So what we want to do is put these type of videos together to help you understand that it is good to have good ideas, but we don't want the outcome to be irrational. So when you had those individuals, those relationships that you had previously that have failed, and this is probably why we're here today. We want to stop the failing relationships. We want to put different components and tools and resources in place so that we can move further and go deeper. I don't think the plan most times is for us to get into a relationship, engage with somebody on a deeper level, and then have it dissipate and fall apart. So we want to take away all the idealistic views that we may have. We want to put some realistic things in place. We want to make sure that we're just not having a good idea with an irrational outcome. To keep our outcomes from being irrational, if we have failed in the past, we talked about this in other videos, what can you do to be a better you? Have that other individual, have they done their work to build their tools and resources and strengthen their skills so that they can be with you? There are a lot of questions that you might need to answer or have answered, and not particularly asking your partner or your spouse that you could be in the courtship or the dating process right now. There are certain ways that you can get information without asking the direct question. But that's when you do the strengthening of yourself and you go out and get other resources. That's why I do this research, so that I can try to bring these videos to you to try to help you understand how to use these things and make them work for you in your relationship. I remember in the past, myself, I had a lot of relationships where I thought they were very good. Everything was working out. All the ideas up front were very good. But of course, obviously the outcome was irrational. So what I had to do is start looking at, going within myself, find out who I am. What can I do to be better? What can I do to offset what I kept seeing that was a reoccurring event in my previous relationships? So when I began to take a serious look at those things, my relationships began to get better and better and evolve and get stronger and stronger. So then once you get to tap into yourself, and then you can know who that other individual is, and not just have an image or a good idea of what you think they are or what you think they should do, then you can change that irrational outcome. So make that good idea, and we want to change it into a positive outcome. So to keep the good idea from becoming an irrational outcome, I want to use an analogy like musical chairs. So we understand that musical chairs, we can have, say, 10 chairs lined up, 15, 20 people, 20 to 30 people trying to get these 10 or 15 chairs. The problem with that is there's going to be more people than there are chairs every time. So off the top, you start the game off with a good idea, thinking that you're going to get a seat. But then the irrational outcome is that you probably are not, because there's only one person that's going to secure that final seat. So when we go into our relationships, we want to understand that there could be more people involved in this selection process than we know of. So you want to give yourself the best advantage. You want to have those tools and resources. You want to understand the opposite sex. You want to know their core. So when you get those tools and those resources, you can build this healthy, viable relationship. So I know we all can think of many, many different situations to where we have a good idea with an irrational outcome. So we just wanted to put this video out here. We want you to take this information. We want you to test this information. We want you to try this information. We want you to take it to the barbershop or the hair salon. Take it to your job or take it to the church. Wherever you think you can have this conversation. And if you have some things that you can help us grow this, we want you to like, subscribe, drop us an email. Thank you. This is the Clipperdome Chronicles.